Okay, honestly, I don't know what my hair is doing. I really don't like what's going on up here, but we're working with it. We're moving past it. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Spooky Snacc. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about the London Bridge. Now, the London Bridge has a very interesting history because if you guys didn't know, the London Bridge used to live in London, but is actually now in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. And honestly, this bridge has quite a dark history for a bridge. You might be thinking it's a bridge. How haunted can a bridge be? Girl, we'll get into it, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure this bridge got some ghosts. Without a doubt, this bridge has got to have a couple ghosts. So let's hop right into it. Now, yes, this is actually the London Bridge that the nursery rhyme "London Bridge is Falling Down" is referring to. So the original location of the London Bridge was over the famously known river, the Thames, in London, and had been a crossing there ever since 50 CE. That area has long been known as the location of London Bridge. It was not titled London Bridge until 1209, but that location, it had always been in that specific location over the River Thames. So the bridge back then was a wooden structure that had numerous buildings that had anywhere from 120 to 200 dwellings. Because of this bridge was a major fire hazard, as its history would show, and would have to be rebuilt quite a few times over its history. Over the century, the area would experience quite a few fires, but the fire of 1212 was definitely the largest that the bridge had experienced in its earlier years. Both ends of the bridge actually caught on fire simultaneously, trapping any citizens that were on the bridge in the dead center. Many unfortunately did either burn to death in the fires, or they tried jumping off the bridge into the River Thames and died either on impact or by drowning. Rebellions in 1381 and 1450 destroyed more homes that were on the bridge, and in 1633 the north end of the bridge was destroyed and caught on fire again. The Great Fire of London in 1666 destroyed the bridge even further, but the fire 30 years prior created a gap that prevented the fire from spreading across the entire bridge. But in 1725, the bridge again caught fire, destroying even more dwellings. So this bridge was just known for constantly catching on fire. I don't know why no one realized sooner that maybe having a wooden bridge in this specific location might not be the best idea, but I don't know where this look is going. I have an inspiration photo, but I'm also filming on my phone, so I can't see the inspiration photo. So I'm kind of just doing this part by memory, and let's just say it's inspired by the photo I found, because I don't think this looks like the original photo I wanted to do at all. Besides just the dozens and dozens of fires that always seem to be going on the bridge did experience quite a bit of some gruesome history in London throughout the years. For example, in the 1300s during the Black Plague, in order to get rid of the bodies of those who have passed, there was a boat that would drift down the River Thames underneath the arches of the London Bridge, where they would go to stack the dead bodies onto the ship to sail them away, to dispose of the bodies from different areas. This is also how the River Thames got the nickname the Black River of Death. Y'all, I am really struggling. I feel like I picked a really difficult look, and I didn't even think it was going to be that difficult, but it's turning out to be that difficult. And I just hope that it comes out looking really badass because right now, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. I look like I gave myself a literal black eye. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Honestly, probably the most gruesome and disturbing aspects of the history of the bridge, in my opinion at least, is the following story. You see, the British monarchy at the time liked to use the bridge to set an example to all the people who opposed them. Now, I mean, how would they do this, you might ask? Just by leaving the severed heads of their enemies on stakes along the bridge. Yeah. For example, now I'm going to read this off to you because I just don't want to mess up the details of this, but William Wallace, who was a Scottish knight who fought in the First War of Scottish Independence, his head, okay, was to be obviously severed from his body, boiled, tarred, and displayed on a pike or a spike, you know, a little arrowhead on the London Bridge. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because what the fuck? Like, so over the next 300 years, yes, you heard me right, 300 years, enemies of the state and any criminals would have their heads put on display on a pike on the London Bridge. In 1598, a German tourist claimed that when he went, he saw 30 heads on display at the London Bridge. Can you imagine if you went to London just on a little mini vacation? I know things were crazy at the time and whatever, but can you imagine going on vacation to London and on the London Bridge there being 30 severed, disgusting ass heads just on display? Y'all, this is not going well for me today. The universe is telling me to stop. In the 1960s, when the bridge was being dismantled, which we'll get into a little bit more, when it was being dismantled, human remains, including the remains of children, were found at the base of the London Bridge. Now, this was because in a process known as immurement, I think that's how you say it, people were actually buried alive under the base of the bridge while it was being built as a sacrifice. Hello guys, Editing Hannah here. I just wanted to touch on and elaborate a little bit more about this whole immurement thing because I feel like I didn't go into it enough in explaining what it actually was in the video. Now, for the actual definition of immur or immurement, off of dictionary.com, it says to enclose within walls, to shut in, seclude, or confine, to imprison, to build into or entomb in a wall, or to surround with walls. Now, looking more into what occurred with this whole immurement, I found it looks like a report that was done by some kind of a student. Found it off of academia.edu. I will leave the link in the description. But in the introduction, it says, quote, during the construction of the London Bridge experience, a quantity of human bones were discovered. These were removed without archaeological intervention and have been placed in the care of the Southwark Cathedral prior to reburial. At the request of the client and the Southwark cathedral archaeologists, 6 crates of human bones were examined by Natasha Powers, and an assessment report was produced. The bones reportedly came from a vaulted room within the area occupied by the London Tombs attraction beneath London Bridge. This room lies some meters below the modern street/ground level, and the human remains appear to have been recovered from deposits lying directly beneath the concrete slab which made up the floor surface of the room. The exact location of the discovery and the depth of the deposits is unknown due to the circumstances of the excavation. Therefore, the site location plan can provide an indication only of the approximate location of the finds. So the London Bridge Experience is located in London, and basically there is this tomb that they used supposedly for immersion that was located under the London Bridge as a ritual to try to encourage or prevent the bridge from collapsing. Obviously we all know how well that went, but I couldn't find necessarily information that described the exact time frame that this took place. It's not in the actual London Bridge in Arizona, but from my research and from what I will make sure to link it in the description box below, it seems like there were bones that were found in what is now the London Bridge Experience, which was a tomb under the London Bridge in its original location in London. I hope that makes sense. I hope that clarifies a little bit more, because like I said, I don't feel like I described it very well in the actual video, but okay, let's get back into it. I mean, you couldn't have found, saged the thing instead? Like, why do you need to bury people alive under a bridge to ensure its longevity? Now, the man that would be responsible for the London Bridge moving to Arizona was a man named Robert McCulloch. I think that's how you say his name, McCulloch. So by the 1960s, London city officials felt like it was time for them to get a new London Bridge. London was starting to really pop off, and they just felt like the current London Bridge wasn't going to be able to withstand the vehicular and pedestrian traffic that was going to be going across the bridge. So they decided to auction it off to the highest bidder, who ended up being Robert McCulloch. This look is a mess, and I swear that this side is actually dark. It's just the lighting on the one side. I don't care, okay? It does not look good. I don't think there's any fixing it. I think this eye looks good. I think this eye looks terrible. So once again, ignore this eye. Just look at this eye, okay? I'm just gonna keep looking this way. I'm not gonna look this way. I'm just gonna keep looking this way until I somehow make this come back together. You see, Robert wanted to build a town that would encourage a lot of young professionals to move their way to Arizona. He decided to name the town Lake Havasu City, and felt like the town needed that, big attraction to encourage people to come, thus purchasing the London Bridge, which he bought for $2.5 million. So the bridge was broken down into individual bricks and shipped from across the Atlantic to California via the Panama Canal. While building it, they made sure to reinforce the structure with steel so that way it would be able to withstand traffic and everything across it. The bridge supposedly came in 10,264 pieces, which equates to 10,000 tons or 22 million pounds of granite. And the bridge was built to perfectly resemble how it sat when it was in London, with just a few minor changes, such as more tunnels for maintenance. That didn't make any fucking sense. And I got foundation on my shirt. Now, with all of that history out of the way, let's get into the hauntings of the London Bridge. So ever since its grand opening in 1967, many tourists have claimed to have witnessed various ghosts across the bridge. Even on opening day, dozens of people claim to witness a group of 4 women dressed in Victorian style clothing walking across the bridge. Now, at first, everybody thought that this was maybe just a stunt for the grand opening done by the city to, allude to the history of the bridge. But all of the witnesses claimed to see these 4 women just vanish into thin air. And that's when they realized that this was not some kind of stunt done by the city. Another very common apparition claimed to be seen pretty frequently along the bridge is a woman in a black Victorian dress. Witnesses often claim to see her walking rather hurriedly across the bridge while clutching her purse. Some people even claim to have witnessed seeing her jump off the bridge. But the eerie thing is you never hear her hit the water down below. Many believe that the ghosts that are often seen there are just the trapped souls of the many tragedies that have taken place on this bridge, from the fires to any drownings that have happened in the water in the Thames, the plague, the ghosts of the criminals and enemies that were murdered and placed on spikes on the bridge. So much death has happened that occurred on this bridge that it's no wonder that a lot of these ghosts from these horrific times are lingering around this bridge. Many people even report just feeling a very dark, ominous feeling following them whenever they cross the bridge, and sometimes even following them home from the bridge. A lot of people think that this might stem from the peoples whose bodies were buried there as a ritual for the bridge's longevity, that horrible, the burying of people underneath. Some people theorize that their spirits were angered once the bridge was moved from its original location, or that they're even obviously just angry that they were ever buried there for a ritual at all. This bridge was honestly such a recipe for disaster, even down to the light posts that are used. So the metal that was used to make the light posts for the London Bridge were actually the melted down cannons from Napoleon's ship after he was defeated. I don't know how much more of a recipe for disaster you can make one bridge. This bridge just has it all. They have it all. Another terrifying experience that occurred on the bridge is one of a mother and son that they were walking across the bridge when both claimed to have heard whispering voices telling them to jump off the bridge. So as they were walking, the voices kept getting more and more intense, encouraging them to jump off. So they eventually ended up literally running off of the bridge, and thankfully, no, they did not jump off. Drivers have even claimed to see ominous figures hovering over their cars as they're driving across the bridge, only to leave them alone once they finally get past the bridge. Some visitors have also claimed to bump into unseen figures, and others have claimed to hear blood-curdling screams from underneath the bridge, more specifically coming from the tunnels inside the bridge. Now, the tunnels underneath the bridge are actually closed off to pedestrians, and only maintenance workers are allowed inside them. So the source of the screaming has yet to be identified. But one of the most interesting and disturbing hauntings connected to the London Bridge stems back to 1888 to none other than Jack the Ripper. Now, if you don't know who Jack the Ripper is, I highly recommend doing some research. Jack the Ripper is an infamous serial killer from the late 1800s. He is known for brutally murdering 7 women and somehow never getting caught. It is still one of the greatest unsolved mysteries, like I said, of the world, I would argue. It's one of the most notable, known about, has so many theories as to who it is, how he got away with it, and all this stuff. And one of the theories is in connection to the London Bridge. Now, like I mentioned, the London Bridge actually has hollow tunnels running through it. I'm not sure how widely respected or theorized this theory actually is, but when I read it, I thought it was rather interesting. Some people theorize that Jack the Ripper was able to escape police by using the tunnels within the London Bridge to evade officers who would have been coming across the bridge, or at least pedestrians and people from being able to see him near the crimes. So basically the theory is that Jack the Ripper never went over the bridge. He went through the bridge. I'm assuming that there were hollow tunnels still working at the time back in the 1800s when the bridge was up, but you know, once again, this is just a theory. None of us are ever gonna really know, but honestly, I feel like this look would really benefit with some lashes, but I'm honestly so fed up with this eye look that I'm just not gonna bother. There are many witnesses who claim to see the ghost of Jack the Ripper wearing his iconic top hat and long black cloak or coat, hiding amongst the bridge. So it might be Jack the Ripper, or it just might be some other really creepy old ghost that would really freak me out if I saw that. That, my friends, is the history of the London Bridge, now located in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. This bridge is for sure cursed. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Like, think about it. All of the stuff that has gone down at this bridge, like, how can you, there's gotta be at least one or two ghosts. Like, come on. Whole ass towns of people have died there. Let me know what you guys thought of this story. Once again, I'm not the biggest fan of my eye look. Honestly, I kind of messed it up when I was doing my concealer even more, and I don't like how this side came out at all. But you win some, you lose some. I do love this lip color though. I've been wanting to wear, this is the NYX Strictly Vinyl Lip Gloss. I think they don't sell these anymore because I got it on clearance off of the NYX website. Like, it's in their like sale section, but this is in the shade Femme Fatale. Yeah, overall, let me know what you guys thought of the story. Do you think that the London Bridge is haunted or cursed, or both? Because like I said, this place, it just seems like is a recipe for disaster right from the start. Building it with some kind of ritual going on. Like, let me know down below if you enjoyed it and if you have any other stories that you'd like me to talk about. I'm always looking for recommendations. Give me some haunted places, locations, ghost stories that I can look into. I hope you guys are having a good day. I hope you enjoyed this story. I hope to see you guys next time, and I hope to have a better luck doing my makeup next time. Okay, bye guys. Y'all want a close-up on this? Look at this mess. Let me bring you in. Actually, on second thought, let me show y'all why I'm so mad. Do you see? That's where the concealer ended up that it wasn't supposed to. I did do some liner. You can't even see it anymore because I had to go over it again with eyeshadow. I like how it's like curving up, which is what I wanted to do. And then this this side is a chunky triangle. Like, from back here, it's kind of a vibe. But up close, you can see it's a forking mess, dude. And then my inner corner, I used the same glitter that I used on the eye, and so it got all gray looking, and now I got lipstick on my teeth. Oh my god. It's fine. Just look at the lips. Just look at the lips. That's everything. Yes.
Butthole.
Okay, bye.